Hi folks, it's Dave from Airpark Living. Today we're going to go out and fly my Glasair. I'm going to show you how it flies, do some evaluation of the stall, clean and dirty. We'll do some accelerated stalls. We'll look at some climb performance and just general handling of the airplane. It was designed as a cross-country machine that's built strong enough to do aerobatics with one person on board. So basically you have a really strong, smooth, fast, cross-country airplane. It's very comfortable. The airplane, the seats sit down and we set over the wing, and it's got total support. What hurts yourself when you're sitting in an airplane for a long time, or any seat, is if you're sitting just on your butt. But if you have weight distributed through your body and on your thighs, then it makes it very comfortable. So this airplane is very comfortable, and you can sit in it for a long time. The visibility is good. I do have the wing out the left side, which limits a little bit, but this video I'm going to talk about all of these things. I'm going to talk about my experience at purchasing this airplane. I have all the records from the builder's manuals, the notes, the wiring diagrams, and if you have all that information, it's easy to see what the builder did. And then I've got all the logbooks from the day it was test flown to present day. One of the nice things about a Glasair is it's supported by a Glasair's Owners Association or group, and you can pull up all the service bulletin and service letters on this airplane and see if it's complied with everything. So that's a really nice thing to have if you're looking for an experimental airplane, is to have all the documentation. And I do have all of that. And then if you look on the interior of the airplane and under the wheel wells in different places, you can see the quality of workmanship. If a guy took his time and did great detail underneath in the wheel wells or in the baggage compartment, and if you even look down in an airplane, look down in the where the pedals are and see if it's clean or if it was put together well, or if it's been maintained. A lot of them you can see they have all kind of trash, dirt, leaves, and oil. So as you can see with my airplane, it doesn't look like that. So I've got a very good airplane.
Here we go in the Glasair, taxiing out. This airplane doesn't have a steerable nose wheel, so it's steered completely by brakes. There are several airplanes out on the market that do that. The American General, or the Grumman Tiger and Yankee, the RV, A model airplane, and there's many others. It's not an uncommon thing. So it's really important to have good brakes. The gentleman that built this airplane pretty much built it to certified standards. He used all aircraft quality everything on it, to include, he put certified instruments and radios in the autopilot. So it was built in the test flight, it was test flown in 1993. So it's been around for a little while. My airplane also had some accident history. The airplane had a gear leg failure, and so it had to be, the gear had to be rebuilt, and there was some minimum damage to the bottom of the wing. So just because an airplane's got damage history doesn't mean it's a showstopper. When I went out to inspect the airplane, I was able to look at all the build manuals and all the repair work. The gentleman that repaired the landing gear has been a machinist his entire life, so he was able to remove the broken pin, re-weld the new one in, did both gear legs, so he did excellent workmanship. So I'm very trusting of his workmanship. I think my gear legs are as good as new. One of the things that's hard on the gear legs for Glasair ones is side loading for landing. If you land and your nose is not straight down the runway, or you're drifting, the first touchdown you get a jolt, and that's hard on those pins. So if you're owning a Glasair 1 RG, you just got to make sure you land it square and straight. Alright, oil temperature, pressure looking good. Boost pump on for takeoff. Avionics are set, lights are on. Flaps are set for takeoff. Aileron flight control check. We're on the main tank. Trim set for takeoff. Windows secures and locks. Seatbelt. That checklist is done. Leeward traffic. Glasair 8 Echo Lima is going to be departing runway 36 leeward. All right, accelerating nicely. Give it a little pitch up. Slowly comes off the ground. Accelerate. Stay below flap speed. Raising the flaps, lowering the nose. No more usable runway. Gears coming up. A little windy today. We got 20-mile-an-hour winds, and it's a crosswind, so it made it a little bumpy. We've got a lot of trees. Climbing out at 120, pulling my power back, 25, 25. Check my temperatures, boost pump off, fuel pressure looks good. The traffic out here, flaps are up. After takeoff, check's good. Temperatures on all the cylinders, running around 350 on all 4 cylinders. Nice and cool. Indicating 120 knots for climb out, trimming for 120. I'm indicating the climb, about 900 foot a minute. Check my temperatures again on climb out, 360, 365, 354. They're all running nice and cool at 120 knot climb out. Still doing about 800 foot a minute rate of climb. We'll climb up to a few thousand feet, and then we'll do some checks on the airplane. Right now, visibility is good. The nose is just a little bit above the horizon, as you can see from the camera, so I got good forward visibility and out the side. The only visibility I'm lacking is if I were overtaking somebody. Starting to get a little smoother air. Passing through about 3,000 feet. We'll climb up above the clouds, get into the smooth air, doing my flight work. Here at 5,500 feet, we're indicating 173 knots. So if I were to do the math, and it's accelerating a little bit, 176 indicated at 5,500 feet, 2350, 176. So if we were to calculate that out with the air temperature, 185, 190 knots. So it's a real cross-country airplane. I'm just going to pull the power back, slow down a little bit.
Tango departing runway 18 leeward.
We'll do some tests here. One of my favorite things is check adverse yaw, so I'm just going to roll left and right.
Advisory, wind variable from 0, peak 0.
So they built the differential aileron on this airplane, my feet flat on the floor, the nose hardly moved. So you can get away with not even working the pedals when you're just flying the airplane. Very nice quality in the design. Let's see how she feels in a 60-degree bank turn. Ooh. A little slow at getting my G loading in. Very nice, controllable. Controls are nice and light. I got the short wing Glasair, so the roll rate is
approaching from the south, 5 miles south.
Roll rate's a lot faster than the longer wing, but I actually have never flown the long wing airplane.
Runway 36 crest route.
Ailerons are nice and light.
36 crest route.
All right, let's do a clean stall.
And actually we're
There's pumps coming on, mixture's coming full rich.
About 4 miles out, field inside.
Pop's coming up to about 2,500.
Okay, the experimental is 6 miles to the northwest, enter left downwind.
Turn the radio down. Actually, I'm going to put up approach control.
Cardinal 013.
See how I'm looking on this.
Altitude indicate
Traffic.
200.
34012. Alright. Do a little clearing turn here before we do some stalls.
Ocala, verify altitude, Ocala, altimeter 3012.
Nothing to the left.
2,000 feet, citation 71 Lima. Citation 71 Lima.
Nothing to the right.
60 vector, ILS 36.
And nothing on the
160
ADSB. Alright, here we go. Do a clean stall straight ahead. 5,500 feet. Power's coming to idle. Rudder has nice authority, getting a little soft. There's the buffet. Nose, just release the pressure and it recovers. I felt a good little shudder in the rudder, or excuse me, not the rudder, but the elevator before the stall. Let's try another one. This time, of course, I'm perfectly in trim. Try another one, and we'll hold the stall a little longer with the elevator and see what happens. See how well the rudder has authority on keeping the nose straight. There we go. I feel a little. There's the buffet. The nose drops. There's full up elevator. Still have good control. There's full up elevator, and there it tried to bob low on me. So aerobatic quality. It wanted to go, but I was able to hold it there at full up elevator just momentarily and manipulate the rudders to hold the nose straight. All right, let's try climb back up to my altitude. But it's not unmanageable. If you manage your trim, keep the airplane in trim, very controllable with the ailerons and the rudder. So it's not as it's not nasty ugly. All right, let's do gear down. All right, there's landing gear down in 3 green. And let's go full flap. There's full landing flap. Start a descent. All right, power's coming to idle. Keeping the airplane in trim. There's the buffet and the nose brakes. Lower the nose. Immediately recovers. Able to maintain my directional control with my rudder and my ailerons without any problem whatsoever. All right, let's practice a little slow flight here. Right now I'm indicating, and let's add a little power. I'm indicating 64 knots.
3012, climb maintain 8,000. 8,000, 50.
Let's raise the flaps. Let's slow down and see what this slow flight feels like.
Stationair, was that 977 Charlie Sierra?
Jacksonville approach, says 411 Sierra Hotel with request.
And affirmative, that's
all right.
977 Charlie Sierra, we're currently about...
I'm indicating 64 knots, feels good. Let's try a little turn to the right.
3,000.
Add a little power.
RNAV GPS 36, approach into Ocala via AMBAC. 47 Charlie Sierra, squawk 0464. 0464.
Maintain the airplane in trim. Feels real good.
Turn left spectator.
So here's slow flight in a Glasair 1 at about 65 knots. Feels pretty good. The controls are nice and light. Ailerons are light. I've trimmed it for pitch. Pitch feels good. All right.
And 14 Jacksonville approach 411.
Landing gear's coming up. I think what we'll do now is let's try an accelerated stall.
Or 58 Romeo, disregard. Still waiting on the hand.
In a turn.
Roger.
Normal airplane should, if you're in trim, it should roll out
58 Romeo.
to wings level when it stalls.
Station 7 Charlie Sierra, radar contact 10.
Let's do some clearing turns here.
Ocala, and stay out the special terminal.
Area looks clear. No traffic on my ADS-B.
And approach stationary 977 Charlie Sierra.
All right, for my first accelerated stall, just wanted to get my altitude back 5,500 feet.
12 o'clock, 3 miles northbound, outside 3,100.
Looking for traffic, 17 Tango.
And we'll do a right turn. Area looks clear.
For 58 Romeo, contact DAC Center 133.
All right, just hold my altitude.
332, 58.
Pull the power back a little bit.
Number 903.
Now I'm just going to increase the back pressure on the stick. And trim when the airplane stalls. There's a couple 3Gs. goes and it buffets and starts to roll to right the airplane. So no nasty characteristics there, as long as you're in trim. I'm sure if I was out of trim, matter of fact, I know if I was out of trim, low rudder, or it would have probably snapped upside down. But any airplane, it's important to fly it in trim. But there's nothing unusual with the accelerated stall in the Glasair 1.
Number 08, Tango, contact Gainesville Tower.
All right, so we've done some slow flying, we've done some stalls, clean and dirty. We've done differential aileron.
7352.
We've done some testing to see how the airplane responds to adverse yaw. So they designed differential ailerons to prevent the adverse yaw. So overall, very nice, comfortable, fast, easy to fly airplane, as far as I can tell right now. Let's go back in and do a landing. Okay, we're still making our descent, get back to the airport. I'm out to the west just a little bit. One of the things about any fast airplane is trying to descend without over supercooling your motor. Then you get slowed down. Gear speed that I use is 120 knots on the Glasair 1. Flap arc starts about 95. Starts at 95 knots. So anyway, so far the handling of the airplane's amazing. I absolutely love it. It's ailerons are very nice and light, elevators nice and light, rudder's has a lot of authority during the stalls. Ailerons have a lot of authority during the stalls, so I was able to control the airplane and keep it from doing anything nasty. So for a fast airplane, I think it's got very good stall characteristics. Lots of visibility, very comfortable. Be honest with you, I really love the Glasair 1. Haven't flown a Glasair 2 or a Glasair 3. Looking forward to that opportunity, and we'll get to do so soon, I hope. But for me, this is a long-term keep. You can find a good Glasair, research the builder, find out the quality of the workmanship, and if you've got a good airframe, then you know, engines and avionics can be changed. This airframe that I've got, I will keep it probably forever. Update the motor, and I'd like to update the instrument panel sometime. Okay, here we are, doing 110 knots. Leeward traffic, Glasair 8 Echo Lima is entering a left downwind for runway 36, full stop at Leeward.
Traffic not available.
All right, we're going to put the gear down. Still descending down to traffic pattern altitude. Indicating about 90 knots now. Leeward traffic, Glasair 8 Echo Lima is left downwind, runway 36, Leeward, full stop. Alright, before landing check, we've got gas. We're on the main tank. Mixture's full forward. Props coming full forward. Pumps down in 3 green. Before landing checklist is good. Seat belts still secure. I maintain the airplane clean until I get where I need the flaps to make the runway. A lot of folks put in flaps way out here, but I like to try to fly a pattern to where I can make the runway if my engine quits. A little more difficult when you have an airplane like the Glasair, but the Piper Cherokee or other I-wings, it's pretty easy to do. On about a 45 in my base to the runway. I can reduce the power a little bit, slow down to about 80 knots. Trim, flaps are coming down. And more trim. Lower the nose and let her come on down. I like to hold about 75 knots on final. Leeward traffic, white Glasair turning final, runway 36, full stop at Leeward. Alright, we're indicating 75 knots. Going to full flaps now. Got the runway made. And as I said, I got a really strong direct crosswind. We've got trees on the right side of the runway, so it's going to get a lot of rollers down in here. All right. Fly it right on down to a couple feet. Hold it off. Lead up the power. Let her settle. And there she is. Just let it roll out straight. You don't have any, I mean, even with the winds bouncing around, it doesn't have any darting tendencies, just gentle braking. As you slow in airspeed, the rudder loses authority, so you have to transition to differential braking, just light pedal movement, light braking. After landing, the boost pump's off. Turn off my collision light. Leeward traffic, Glasair is, white Glasair is vacating the runway. Leeward. Alright, after landing, put the flaps up. Nothing unusual about the Glasair, pretty straightforward. Speed management, manage the airplane in trim, and very nice flying airplane. I don't consider it very difficult at all. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the evaluation of the Glasair. I think it's a very comfortable airplane. It's obviously very fast and efficient. I bought the airplane from California and flew it to Florida from just outside of Edwards Air Force Base. It took me 9.5 hours at average ground speed of 220 knots. Of course, I had a tailwind. But at 11,500 feet, I was truing out at 190 knots. And I was burning about 7.5 to 8 gallons an hour. So it's a very efficient airplane. The fuel capacity on this airplane, I have a 39-gallon main tank. It's got a 6-gallon header tank. I generally leave it full. I have the ability to pump fuel into the header tank from inside. We've got a fuel gauge on that. Overall, it's a very good airplane. So if you're looking for a Glasair, highly recommend getting one. You want to inspect the landing gear, check those pins on the scissor assembly on the front of the oleo strut. Check the builder manual. Check into the quality of the workmanship. And if you've got a good solid airframe, good motor, then you've got a lifetime partner that you can do a lot of serious cross-country. If you like what you're seeing with Airpark Living, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. And we've got airparks that we're going to start visiting soon. More airplanes that we're going to fly, and we're going to go see some projects. So thanks for tuning in to Dave at Airpark Living. Hope you enjoyed the Glasair today.